Hey guys,
Yeah.
you know what day it is today?
Oh, come
Shut
on,
the
man.
fuck up. Get out of here.
We're better than that.
Boo!
Hey, I'm Fingers.
Hey everyone, this is Days Ahead.
And I'm Nitroid. You're listening to the Kojima Frequency.
I've run Metal Gear Solid 2 twice actually in the past 2 weeks. Obviously for Big Shell Day, I was doing it for streaming, which I might continue either tonight or tomorrow morning. But I also ran it for one of my girlfriends for 420. Yeah. And for some reason, on the first run, I was able to get that SOCOM suppressor and strut F real easy. But when I was streaming today in front of a bunch of Metal Gear fiends for Big Shell Day, it was impossible. Sober. Bad.
Got our Patreon live listeners this time, so shout out to everybody that's been supporting on the Patreon.
Y'all are some real ones and are about to get very disappointed about how we sound live.
All that editing, you're gonna hear so many ums and uhs that you don't normally hear.
Yeah, I hear when I try to get people on the show, they're like, "Oh my god, I'm so nervous. I'm not a very good speaker," and I'm like, "I'm not a very good speaker either. I suck at this. Fingers just makes me sound good."
They say that, and it's like the puppet meme where it looks back and looks forward again.
Yeah, well,
You don't know how much of a mess this is.
it's a hot ass mess. But
Little bit.
in any case, no, we do appreciate you guys joining and being a pilot of this. So yeah, hopefully we can do this a lot more often. But yeah, give us some feedback. Let us know if everything's running well, and we'll try to continue to do it.
And please forgive how completely exhausted I am right now.
Yeah, you've been busy running that Tomothy Olsen account.
Tomothy.
Dude, this thing kicked my ass. You would not believe. I don't know why I committed so hard to it. I could have just made 10 posts and then made a comment, but once it sort of got out of my hands and was obvious how insane it was becoming, I was like, all right, well, I gotta step it up and do something a little special with it, or I'm wasting the potential.
You definitely did that, man.
I definitely remember it starting very innocuous. It started on your Twitter account, just sort of these random ass screenshots from the Big Shell, oh, where is this from? And it looked like the downstairs from what was the tanker, when it was really someplace in the Big Shell, if I recall correctly. And just these cute little posts, and then you were like, what if we made these posts sourced by a fictional person?
Yeah, I just one day was dicking around with MGS2 and was like, man, this is really pretty. I love how this game looks. The Big Shell looks really neat. I love the architecture. And I started just looking around in first person view, just taking screenshots. I was started as just trying to find wallpapers basically, because I just like how it looks. And I was thinking about the game anyway, because it's, coming up on 20 years old, which I don't even want to think about that. I remember buying this game on midnight when it came out and staying up all night to beat it. I didn't do it. I think I don't know. Did I do it? This is the problem with something that happened 20 years ago, is you have a hard time remembering it. But it just started as me kind of looking through and finding neat images, and then I don't know. I just made a shit post under my main account where I just started tweeting I was at the Big Shell, herp derp, just another day at the office. Well, oh no, those birds took crap everywhere. I gotta clean. Just whatever,
Every time I see bird shit in that game now, I think about you.
Aw.
Or rather, I think about Tom, but...
And so, that's how it started. He looks over at the hole in the fence, and he's like, I bet these birds did that. I'm gonna fix it and get back to work. And that was it. Like, that was how it started. And then I was like, it would be funny if it was just like a gimmick account where somebody was posting about working at the Big Shell. And I wasn't even thinking about the 30th at that point. Like, I was just like, it'll be funny. Like, let's make up a guy. But like, he needs an avatar, so where can I get an avatar? Well, they've got all those NPCs in the game that are, walking around New York City, and like, you can put them into the cutscenes in Substance. And so like, I grabbed him. I went through the cutscene of him like with the sword and everything, and like found like office worker male. Like, that's how he's listed in the game. And I was like, all right, that works. So let's get that picture and crop it and turn it a little and recolor it and make it look all pretty and slap that on there. All right, I got the picture now. Like, what's his banner? Well, I don't know. Just get a really scenic view of the Big Shell. I mean, this guy's like, he's drinking the corporate Kool-Aid, so he's all about this life.
And he was one of the guys that was running past Solid Snake and Raiden at the ending of Metal Gear Solid 2, right?
Yeah. So there's two models that are basically the same, but they're different quality levels. There's like the New York pedestrian model of this guy and he doesn't have glasses on, but he's just wearing a suit. He's like the very first model, right? And they took that model, and there's like a high-res version of it that they use for the casting theater, where he's got glasses on. And I was like, okay, that's the same guy. Like, you can tell it's the same face. It's just one's higher fidelity than the other. Like, I'll just make that the guy. So, and I need to put that video back up of him running by, because like, I think that was funny. But
yeah, I think you just wanted to keep it more like under wraps and not traceable back to you yet, because it was kind of supposed to be more of a surprise that just more people kind of knew about from the beginning, and then I was like, oh no.
Yeah, I was about to say, I mean, from the get-go, I had been talking about this, like, Nitroid shit posting, because it was Nitroid shit posting. I wear my heart on my sleeve. Like, apparently that made me look really indignant, so...
Man.
And like, the secret did kind of get out, because I was like, eventually on like the message boards and stuff, you would just see like a couple people being like, oh, it's just Nitroid doing the thing. It's like, man, okay, so this is getting out somewhere now there, I guess,
Yeah.
So.
I did get a few DMs from folks that were like, this did reek of you guys.
Yeah, I did too.
Man, Brad Wodo was right. I am the Metal Gear meme guy. God damn it.
This was more than a meme. This was I don't know. This was a complete like Metal Gear Solid 2 themed like big ruse that everybody wrote on for. It felt like a couple weeks. I don't know, but what was it, like a week?
I think I started it on April 8th.
Okay.
To be fair, time has no meaning anymore. So that could be a
that's
factor too.
I was like, I don't know how long this has been, but
yeah,
we've been talking about it for a while.
So getting back to it, like the name that we use, Tom Olsen, is from a throwaway line in Police Nuts, where at the beginning of the game, Jonathan Ingram is sitting at his desk waiting for work, and he's like, you're looking around the office, and it's like the tutorial section, right? You're figuring out how the game works, and you're clicking around and investigating stuff, and he's got an answering machine there. You have to listen to it like 3 or 4 times, but a message comes up that's like, hello, Mr. Ingram, this is Tom Olsen. I guess I'm not going to be needing your services anyway. Sorry. And that's it. Right? And what's funny is, like, I didn't find this out until later, but in the Japanese version of the game, the name is just Olsen. Like, he just gives a last name. He doesn't give the full name.
Yeah, I did see some people talking about that today, just saying. And then was it Slow Beef that said
yeah, Slow Beef knew a guy named Tom Olsen, and so he was like, "Oh, that's funny. I'll just throw the name Tom on there because it's already named Olsen." And so, if the real Tom Olsen is listening, which I doubt it, he's probably has no idea what any of this is about.
Why am I getting all these DMs?
I know, it gives a shit about a lot more things than a potential Metal Gear 2 remake.
Yeah, he's
or Twitter account.
Google himself someday and be really confused. So that was it. Like, I just threw that up and was like, all right, this guy's just going to tweet from the Big Shell like a worker. What should his birthday be? Because I got to put one in. Oh, this would be funny. April 30th, because it's the Metal Gear Solid 2 date. Ha ha ha. Right? Like, so that's literally the end of the thought there.
Yeah.
and I just started, tweeting pictures and trying to be creative with the imagery. And I have the document of Metal Gear Solid 2, which, if you don't know what that is, look it up, because my god, it's one of the coolest things that has ever been made. It's basically an interactive documentary about Metal Gear Solid 2 that lets you take the game apart, more or less. You can view all the cutscenes in real time and move the camera around and view things from different angles that you're not normally going to see. You can view all the models and the backgrounds. You can read the script and the design document and listen to how the music works and view behind the scenes. But like anything you would ever want to know about Metal Gear Solid 2 is in this thing, right? And so I use that to get all of these images, and I threw that into an emulator to crank up the resolution, and just that's how I got like 75% of the shots, right? And then for anything I couldn't do, I just threw it into Photoshop or did compositing in Premiere to make it look nice, and grabbed stock sound effects from free websites where I needed them, or recorded sounds from the game itself. Like, I know I'm going on, and it's this is kind of droll, but like,
no, this is what we want. Go, keep going.
Like, that's more or less it. Like, most of the shots that you'll see, I can do one and done in the document of MGS2 or in the HD collection or in just MGS2 emulated, because you can crank up the resolution real high. And it's kind of funny because emulated with the resolution up looks better, in my opinion, than the HD collection, which is kind of interesting.
And you were also using some like cheats or mods or some kind of like multiple versions of altering the game, because you were showing us some crazy shit in the chat of like the guards like leaning out the windows and like.
I don't want to gate all of this behind the Patreon, because I think I me from day one, Nitroid. I always thought that this was like this art project for so many reasons, even before it became this whole like meta meaning. I know we talked about like, finding out, like viewing events in history from the lens of social media that we have today. And this was like a perfect example of it. And that's why I think it's so cool personally.
It did get kind of guerrilla there for a bit, didn't it?
Yeah, and that's kind of why I was always upset by the whole accusation of, is this somebody trying to make a statement? Is this, somebody trying to play Konami or just anything that was above, more complex than, what we had all discussed.
Yeah.
Because I feel like it takes out some of the magic from it all. But, I got a very close-up perspective of it. But that being said, though, it's funny that you're talking about the technology behind this, because it was like